Hello guys, this is Mr. Siege, and today I want to bring to you some of my best tips and tricks, not all of them, but some, of things I've learned over the past year or so in using ranged combat. Firstly, we're going to look at a great rage generation tip, use of the environment in Rise of Kingdoms, effective tower positioning in and out of territory, the use of towers in PvE scenarios, and the most effective scenarios for ranged fighting, i.e. altar fights. So stick around to the end of the video, throw a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you enjoy. So let's get started. And my first tip can be pretty amazing if you're doing PvE stuff like arms training or your Karawak ceremony. And it's basically just an easy way to gain rage. So we started off attacking a barbarian, and once my rage bar is nearly full, I then switch to my main target, which I want to destroy as fast as possible. And look at the damage it does. The active skill just wipes it out, as shown when I was doing Karawak in this short I did a few weeks ago. Rage bar go up, and when it's nearly maximum, attack your main target. You're going to hit it with your active skills pretty much straight away, and then it's only a matter of time until the target's completely destroyed and you've had a much easier result. Hope you enjoy the tip. See you on the next one. Yeah, it's a great little extra boost when you're attacking a target. Now, let's talk about Rise of Kingdoms terrain. Now, I'm struggling to place this tower here. I can never attack a target on the other side of this mountain. So, a lot of the terrain in Rise of Kingdoms just isn't suitable for firing over at range, basically. You have the odd scenario like this, but it doesn't really allow you to have much coverage over the other side of the mountain. I could hit this target over. It's in range, but there's not going to be a lot of fighting, and it's a very rare scenario you get that opportunity. So obviously we're expecting some graphics updates, and this could potentially help us, which we'll get onto in a minute. Even if we reposition this tower a bit lower, you can still see that you don't get a lot of coverage over the terrain. So if there was a bit of a fight here, you're not really going to do a lot. You have to be very, very lucky to make use of this. And I did get super lucky in this scenario. I managed to fire over a mountain for a good half an hour, I'd say, racking up some crazy, crazy kill points. And honestly, I don't know why the enemy were so foolish just to stand there for so long. But go and check out the video if you haven't already. It's quite amusing, to be fair. Now, another thing I need to show you is you can't fire over a pass. Now, if you're an avid Mr. Siege supporter, you probably already know this. But people who are just getting onto watching my videos, well, this is for you. Now you know it. I always get the question this, oh, can you fire over a pass? That's just OP. No, you can't. You can't fire into a different zone. You'd have to go through the pass and obviously set up your tower and be able to fight the enemy. But here's another tip. If you get too close and you attack them 1v1, you won't set up your tower. You need to be attacking from a distance. So move away, select the target, and then you will change into your tower. So if you do go through a pass in this scenario, which I'm about to show you in a minute, try and select a target like probably on the edge of your range so that you can set up a tower as soon as you're through the pass like this. Obviously there's a lot of fight on the other side of the pass. We've taken the pass here, and I'm just going to select a target further away because I'm struggling to actually position the tower itself on the pass here, and that's a bit of a problem. So I take Margaret and I drag her over to a target further away, over to the right hand side here, as you can see, and then she actually sets up a tower. And it's just a case of me taking Cordoba to do the same. Obviously, they do have auto firing on, so it makes life easier. As soon as you set up and you've got War Frenzy, you're going to be firing. So that's super, super useful. Remember, you don't want to be attacking targets 1v1 without being in ranged mode because you will get battered. And yeah, we did make a mistake here with Cordoba. He's actually getting targeted and it did lose a bit of life there. But we eventually got him set up by targeting further away and then he could start his firing too. This was at a point where I was testing Margaret and Baba with, and then Cordoba and Garjamada separately just for a bit of a test. Although I do prefer Margaret and Cordoba and Baba, Gaj and Marder, as you'll see in many of my videos. But yeah, this was a pass opening, pass 7. So if you do want to check out this video also, show a picture of this. But yeah, it's pass 7 opening and it was a live stream. So let's get back onto the current Rise of Kingdoms terrain. And obviously we have rivers and bridges. Now this is a perfect scenario if you're fighting over a river or a bridge, or any other choke point really. You can get some great kills. Again, there's few and far between. It would be a fantastic change to add lots more of these rivers and mountains into the terrain in Rise of Kingdoms. Like I say, there's going to be a huge update in terms of graphics coming. So I'm hoping they are taking into account ranged combat. And I mean, we don't need it easier. Like, it's fine anyway. You can still get crazy kills. You've seen me fighting, but it would make it a lot easier for, say, farms to be added into the fight and doing more for the kingdom, um, or protecting certain areas and actually using the landscape to maybe to build flags in a certain way, head to a different area. But I just point out some more areas in here, like those lakes and other mountains. There's no way you're going to fire a tower over these. The range of the tower isn't big enough. And yeah, just flicking across the map to show different points where you could possibly fire over. But again, you're not going to have a fight over that bit because there's a little bit of a lake over the other side. You could possibly here. Again, this is a similar position to I showed you before, but they're just so few and far between, and the chance of actually having a fight around these areas are just so unlikely. So we just had some new graphic update released, and take a look at these. So we don't have the scale, but we could potentially have towers like here, or on this mountain at the top here. Like, it's more of a canyon than a range of mountains. So I think these could be a lot better for using ranged. And again, in this new image, the rivers actually look a bit thinner, hopefully enabling us to get more range on the other side of the river. And again, we have a sort of a ridge. So this could enable us to fire over a little bit better. Just imagine there's a load of troops down the bottom of here instead of this little pond we don't really need. But again, I did actually have a river slash bridge sort of scenario where I could just pummel into the other enemy troops. And yeah, these scenarios are fantastic, to be honest with you. You've got a lot of protection as long as no one's coming up behind you, which actually they eventually did in this scenario. But you're just getting free shots, and the enemy can't really do anything about it. They need to hold their position to protect the flag, like in this case. And yeah, we're just pummeling the enemy here. Really, really nice. And again, great kills. A lot of these clips you'll actually see that I've pulled from a 7-hour live stream from last KVK when Pass 4 actually opened. So this is probably the most fierce fighting we had in this KVK. If you want to check it out, yeah, there's 7 hours of ranged fighting, good and bad, mainly good. But yeah, if you want to go check it out, I'll leave a picture of the thumbnail just here for you. Now, let's have a look at positioning on the field in big fights like this one. Now, if you're on territory, try and stay near a city. So, like Margaret's getting targeted here, I'll hop in a city, as you can see, and then I'll jump back out behind, remake the tower, and carry on fighting. I'll do exactly the same with Babur. So if you're just getting a few hits on you without taking active skills, you're probably going to still be trading positive. As long as you're not getting swarmed with active skills popping off, you're going to be absolutely fine. Now, again, in this scenario, we've got Abba and Margaret in decent positions just behind the ball. Probably a little bit close to territory, but again, we're near cities. We can escape if we need to. It's also good to either be near a node if you can't get within a, near a city or anything like that, just so you can escape if you need to. Margaret's fantastic at node hopping or city hopping with the hasty departure. She's actually really, really quick. But you'll need to be a bit more careful if you're on the edge of enemy territory or in enemy territory. Um, if you can find a node like this one, great. But if not, you really need to stick with your other troops or your alliance ball or ally ball. Probably sticking towards the back end of the ball because otherwise people will hop out of cities and try and get you. And if you're not in ranged mode, you're out of range mode, you're going to take a lot more damage than if you were in ranged mode. And in this next scenario, we're a little bit deeper into enemy territory. Now, I'm probably too close to the city, the enemy city, but we've got a ton of ally support here, so I'm not too fussed. I tend to be probably towards the back of the ball here, but at the end of the day, I want to try and get kills, so a bit further forward, you're going to get more on you. Now, another great tip is you can actually draw enemies out with your towers. Say you've not got many allied troops around you, they will come and attack you. And obviously, this is a good thing because they're generally not going to survive, especially if you've got max commanders like me and decent equipment. You've seen how good Baba and Garjamada are 1v1. Usually, I position them in front of Margaret, but not in this instance. This gives you and your allies a bit more time just to basically wipe them out. Again, like this, I'm actually surprised I didn't have any more field support. But I did have my Guan on the field here, and he helps take out these couple of marches. Expecting, expecting to kill Margaret and Baba quite easily, and that just wasn't the case. And this is what happens a lot of the time. People think ranged are bad, so they soon learn. A lot of people are still massively surprised. But yeah, it can be a really good lure. You can even hide troops in a city. If the fighting's getting a bit quiet, leave your ranged march out, make it so someone could hit it, and yeah, basically just hide some troops in a city to pounce on, basically. A bit of an ambush. Now, this brings us on to your PvE events like arms training. Ranged is so good for arms training. If you haven't seen the video and you've got a siege march now, an engineering march, really go and check it out. You're probably going to get a much higher score than you ever did before. And I've never ever done so well in arms training before having a siege march. It's completely changed the way I play, and basically get 3 gold heads now. I'm not even rage buffing my march in this one, which I could have done, and I could have gained more points potentially. But still got a ton of points. Again, go and watch the video if you haven't already. You may find it as game changing as it has been for me. Now let's take a look at some more PvE content. And this, of course, is your canyon. Now, if you've got 2 towers, I suggest positioning them like this. And if the field marches of the enemy side have got to march between your towers, they lose their rage, basically. And this is a massive bonus to use in ranged in something like canyon. Makes it a lot easier. Look how Baba slayed Nevsky Joan there. Maybe he hasn't got any equipment on now. I don't know. But this was a lot easier than I expected. He's actually pretty much the same power as me. But yeah, it can be really effective. Now, I don't win them all, but again, I've only got gear on 3 marches here, only got equipment on 3 marches, should I say. So here's one that was a lot harder. They actually beat me, or this was a replay of one they beat me, maybe. I can't really remember. But yeah, a lot harder. Babo's getting swarmed, obviously, in the top right corner, and that's fine. So he's doing damage and he's taking the hits. Now Margaret's getting free shots. She's doing the debuffs, and I've obviously got all my other rubbish troops about, just doing bits and bobs of damage. Not a lot because, again, I've not got great troops that aren't siege. They're not decent marches. It's only Guan and Scipio they've actually got any gear on, and even that is not very good at all. So it'll be 4 marches actually going for Margaret here. Now the AoE helps. That gets rid of the Huo march quite early. But these 3 marches just got too much to take down Margaret at this point. Now, maybe if Margaret had a few more iconic tiers on her equipment or a few more crits, remember she only got 2 legendary crit pieces, it could have been different. So let's get on to the last top tip for ranged combat. And many of you have seen my crazy ranged report where I got 1,000,000 kills in just one outing with Margaret and Cordoba. And this is what it was from. The ultimate siege report was from the altar battle. And altar battles are where siege and engineering marches absolutely shine. And the reason for this is because your marches and your balls, they're not moving very much. They're all in one area. And basically your tower can just sort of sit there and pick people off. And there's very little movement. You don't need to reposition that many times, maybe the odd time, and it's a very small amount of movement. But this sort of scenario is just fantastic for siege. And yeah, if you've got a really good tower, you're going to be adding a lot of support onto the field here. Obviously, you need your field troops too, as in all fighting scenarios, you need those troops too. But yeah, this is where siege absolutely shine. And if you've got a march that's really strong, engineering march, give it a go in the altar battle. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave any comments in the comment section. Bye bye.